All right, Morten. I've read your text and I've got some comments for you regarding the structure and the global level of your text. Firstly, there's not a lot to say, thankfully, on the local level to do with correctness, grammar, and vocab, etc. That seems to be working really well for you. So you've got good vocabulary, and at the local level, there is good cohesion. Um, we talk about cohesion at local level, at coherence at global level. So cohesion seems to be working very well. In general, you are correct in your use of language. If there's anything that I would say that you could improve on, which would actually help the text and help the reader, is your punctuation. In particular, commas. There's no issue with full stops. It's to do with the commas. That would actually give your reader an indication of where the pauses are when you make a list of like 1, 2, 3 things or items you want to mention. Remember your commas. Outside of that, you don't have any systematic errors. Um, I would add to that at level 3 in writing, we do expect errors in punctuation. I'm just saying that it would help your text, I think. What I do want to talk about is to do with structure. This seems to me to be a text that is about completing the task rather than explaining your thoughts and analysis to a reader. So, what you need that's missing from your text is a consideration for the reader. There's no introduction, first of all, to the whole text. The title is just the title of the task. We need a title that tells the reader what do you want to talk about. We need an introduction to how this argument is structured, the things that you want to focus on, where you want to end up. So what you're doing is like just basically you have two parts, which is the two parts of the task description. So you need to think about that because that's not necessarily going to work for you in terms of your structure. And what it leaves me with when I read your text is basically this is not a very coherent text. And I'll tell you why that is. If you take the first part of your text, which is your description of air power and coin, your paragraphs are way too short. They do not live up to what a paragraph needs to have. Refer back to my presentation, and you'll see why. So your paragraphs are too short. They do not cohere, there's no transitions, and what you've got is a sort of collection of facts. As a reader, you're not giving me an indication of how I'm meant to understand those facts. So there is, it leaves you thinking this is like your first draft. It gets a whole lot better when you talk about Pave and Warden. There's more cohesion, your paragraphs improve. There's still not enough coherent transitions and coherence between the paragraphs. However, it does improve right there. You talk about Mueller in a much longer paragraph. I want you to go back and revise that and look at how that can be divided into at least 2 paragraphs because that then becomes too long, whereas in the first part of the text it was too short, the paragraphs were too short. This is too long. So you need to divide that at least into 2 paragraphs, depending on how many topic sentences you think that you have. So you still have a lot of work to do considering your reader, considering your paragraphs, 1 message per paragraph, 1 topic sentence, support elaboration for that topic sentence. That's what we need here. And then transitions. So consider your reader to a much greater extent. And this is not about just completing the task. It's about communicating your ideas and your analysis to the reader. So what I would suggest that you do is think about the layout. As soon as you look at the text, or I look at the text, I see a problem. 2 short paragraphs in the beginning, too long at the end. That tells me that you need to work on that. Introduce your points, introduce your text, signpost to the reader what is happening, where am I in my argument? Am I describing something that is relevant for me to understand your conclusion, or is this analysis? What is going on in the text right now? What am I meant to be paying attention to? And then make sure that you have clear transitions all the way through. That would really improve. So that's what I'm going to be looking at for the next task. If you have any questions, you have my email address, and we'll meet, of course, on Friday as well. So let me know if there's anything that doesn't make any sense. Otherwise, there's a lot that's working in terms of the language. So this is not about you having functional issues. This is about understanding how to write for a reader. Okay. I hope this makes sense. I'll see you on Friday. Bye.